Hi, everybody. I'm here today with Albert Solé, the director of our opening film, External Action. This year, the festival of our European Union Film Festival, Europe's Moving Images, is Democracy, Community, and Space Aliens. We selected precisely External Action because it captures a consequential moment in global and European history. Josep Borrell, who is the High Commissioner for External Actions, appears in the documentary really as a politician of stature. Albert, can you talk to us about how the film project came together for you?
Well, always, I come from a very political background. Either my father or my mother were involved in politics. So the reason why I'm very much attracted to these subjects. So I knew a little bit Josep Borrell, and he knew me through my career. So, well, all of a sudden I understand that I had the chance because he was a Spaniard as me. So I just signed the proposal, and I saw it as a big opportunity to tell the a general audience what such people are doing, because it's very well, people don't really understand what high level politicians are normally doing. So that was the reason.
In fact, actually, you mentioned, or that's one of the lines in the film that I think that you edited particularly in that part of the problem for the EU is that it's 600 million citizens don't even really understand well how the EU functions, and so your film is in many ways a kind of response to that, to try and explain something about the grand level actions of the EU. But you've been directing and producing documentaries and taking on difficult and challenging political topics for decades. And we all know that the documentary film market is not easy. You have a lot of images, rapid editing. It's an action. For a documentary on its topic. It's an almost action-packed documentary. Can you talk about the conditions for making this film?
Yeah, the good thing is that they didn't really put conditions on me. The only condition was to tell the complexity of the department, the external action department, because general audience just think that it's just a guy, a diplomat, following different crises all over the world. But the reality is that there are 5,000 people working behind him in either military and civil activities of any kind all over the world. So it's very complex. That was the only condition. For the rest, I was completely free to say whatever I feel like. And I'm really grateful for that.
So let's be clear. You responded to an open call from the External Action Services itself, right? And
No,
then,
no, no. Sorry.
no?
It
Okay.
was me. It was me who approached them
Okay.
and tell them, I would like to tell what you're doing. I would like to
Okay.
follow
Okay.
Mr. Borrell. And they opened the gate for that.
Okay. Because you further have access to Pedro Sanchez, of course, another part of the Spanish clique, right? But Kaya Callas and people within the security apparatus. So doors were open for you once you started making the film, it appears.
Well, I've been doing that kind of things all my life, so it's just a matter of insisting, of being a little bit, sometimes a little bit like a fly, and being there and asking and knocking at the door. And at the very end, normally it works. Of course, then you have to move all kind of contacts you have for having access to these people, to the president, the Spanish president, for instance. But at the very end, they were open to the idea of talking to a general audience.
Excellent. Indeed, uh, I'd be interested in knowing further about the life of the film itself, but this is capturing the film is in effect core to it is 3 months that are very important months. It's kind of amazing that you are actually filming, working on the project in 2024 in October as the Hamas attack takes place. And so you move from Ukraine to China to Gaza, Palestine, Israel. Um, uh, this is a point where there are challenges, dramatic challenges to the European project, and they continue to intensify in many ways. For you, how did making this film um, change, or what did you learn out of the film vis-a-vis the European project?
Well, I learned something. I had the intuition already is about the complexity of the European external action, because of course is not only you have to be dealing with several crises as the one way which are shown in the movie, but also they have to gather their own agreements constantly. So, for instance, we were living these crisis places you were telling about, and uh, sorry, maybe there's some noise here disturbing you a little bit. And so we were living at these places, and then when we reached Brussels again with the Josep Borrell team, me and my team were flying back home, and he would then gather with all the representatives of the 27 countries to find kind of an agreement. So they were always in a permanent meeting trying to balance their positions. And that's that's real diplomatic, very complex. And that's probably the explanation why you normally, nothing comes out from this strange animal, which is European Union, in terms of interfering in international affairs, no? And that we are seeing it now very recently over the Venezuelan crisis, or so many other crises, where the only voice you hear from there, from the European Union, is something like, "Okay, we disagree, but what else?"
Right.
No?
And,
And
and
sorry, yeah.
no, I think there's a moment in the film where you see him with a screen discussing with the 27 leaders in effect in a Zoom environment like the one we're in right now, trying to come to this consensus. But you also capture these moments where he reflects in front of the camera on the difficulty and the problems of his position being largely reactive rather than proactive is one of the things that appears in the film, and I really appreciated that. I think that that's something that comes across very well in the way that you also are editing the film together. So thank you for that. Can
Thank
you,
you. Yeah.
we have this is an American audience. It's not a European audience. We might have Europeans here at the film festival, but for the American audience, is there anything that you would want to say to them?
Yeah. I mean, we Europeans hardly understand that strange animal, which is European Union. There's a strong confusion over the institutions. We have the Council, we have European Council, we have a Council of Europe, and it's very hard for us to understand. But despite all this lack of prestige, let's put it this way, and lack of understanding from other countries, we're doing. We Europeans are trying to do big things, and we have a currency, we have I don't know, a lot of exchanges. We try to be together because we understand that this new world of great power competition, we have the choice of either participating or being left apart. So I would like the American audience to understand that despite they don't understand what we're doing, and some of us don't understand it either, is the only chance we have to survive, we as Europeans. So as Josep Borrell says, well, we have been built over crisis, and probably we are not what we want to do, what we want to be, but what the others allowed us to be. But nevertheless, we are proceeding. We're doing things. So it's our only chance to survive. That's for sure. So yeah.
Thank you, Albert. All right. I'm going to
You're so welcome, and I'm so grateful that the people in the States can watch that movie. And as you said, it was a very it's always very difficult to communicate politics. But when you have crisis, for us movie makers, it's also a chance to reflect the complexity of the daily political action. And in that case, it was full of it.
All right. That's a good final word. Thank you.